Hey friends. All right, so I'm on the other side of the illness. um, and I'm feeling better today, so I thought I would jump in and do this VR to Polish folk witch decks for folk, folk witches, or I think that's what it's called, decks for folk witches. I'm a little overwhelmed. There's a lot of decks on my table, more than I would normally have at any given time, because I don't use them all the time. Um, so and I don't want it to be a long, drawn out video either. But I am doing a deck parade, people, because I like some of those deck parades, right? And this is one that I like. I like watching, and I like doing, and I'm enjoying doing. All right, so we're gonna start with a little, because I was out in nature. I want to make sure the hands are clean. Happy May Day to everybody, wherever you are in the world. Blessings to you for whatever you celebrate. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful day. All right, I'm gonna get some things out of the way right away. My folk practice, my folk witchcraft is informed by my heritage and my Italian upbringing and Roman Catholic upbringing. But I did leave the church when I was 12. I think I have talked about that on my channel before, but it doesn't matter. However, when doing ancestry work, I hate that term. Look, when I want to talk to the spirits of my people, and when I want to, when I need to go home, spiritually because I need support, and that's usually when that occurs, and that is okay. If you're one of those people that you're wondering, oh my God, but I'm pagan, what's wrong with me? Why am I being drawn back to my religion of upbringing and all this stuff? It's because you're going through a stressful time. We all want to go home. We all want to go home to our moms when we're having a stressful time, no matter what kind of mom we had. So here we go. So these are definitely in the context of my folk witchcraft practice. I do a lot of work with saints. I have a core group of spiritual advisors, consultants, however I like to describe them, that I consult. I have my spirit court. I don't have 78 saints in my spirit court, but you know, this deck is out of print. However, there's a reason why decks go out of print. They're not any good. It's not a really good deck, but if you want 78 different saints, it is. I am on my channel. There's a flip through of this deck. You can just look for it way back in the weeds from back in the day. There's a flip through of this one. There's also a video on this deck as well. I may be doing a giveaway at some point for Voices of Saints. I'm just not organized yet. This is my darling, my favorite. It was a gift from a dear friend, and it's these guys as well. I like this. It's very Catholic school, grade school, not nursery school. Well, okay, I knew how to read when I went to nursery school, but that's because my mom was hard ass. And but these Saints flashcards, I like these a lot. I use these. I don't use the Voices of Saints. They're a little depressing, Voices of Saints. The art is all pretty samey. It's a Lo Scarabeo. You know, Lo Scarabeo always has like that really good concept, and the execution always falls flat for me. All right. My folk practice, my folk witchery is informed by that, my family of origin, but it is primarily rooted in nature. Also, from my family of origin, I grew up, you know, I was raised by Italian immigrants. I'm not going to go into it again. I've already talked about it, yada, 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 on my channel, a lot about my upbringing. It's all about nature, the outdoors, that kind of thing. But again, I'm just going to go through quickly. So these are the first cards I learned how to read. Not this specific deck. This is Carte Napoletane. You can buy them today. Okay, these are Triestine because my mom is from the north and my dad is from central and southern Italy. But queste sono carte napoletane, like we say, and these were the first cards I learned how to read, as you see. And then after those, and when it comes to folk practice, these kind of cards, this and the carte napoletane, is how they're specifically used for divination. And like when I described in my video how I use tarot cards, now I use tarot cards instead of these. But these are but I still revert to these when I'm looking for, you know, the straight answer. These are cards used to divine whether there's negative energies, or, you know, these are really good, very bare bones kind of imagery, if you want to call it that, where you can check to see if your magic took, whether there is magic present, where there's malevolence present. These are the guys for that. And these are the ones that took their place. So this is, and tarot is just absolutely, goes without saying, tarot is a strong part of my magical practice. I use tarot for divination. I use it for checking in with myself. I use it for taking the temperature of the energy. I use it for weather forecasting. I use it for everything. In 2017, I received a gift card to a local witchy shop, and I only had like 2 decks at that time, Morgan Greer and what do you call it? Mythic Tarot, that I never read with the deck, but I used the guidebook a lot to learn tarot. And so with the first thing I saw in the store was this beautiful black and orange box, Raven's Prophecy Tarot, and I bought it with the box sealed, you know, like we used to do. I didn't even know there was a such thing as looking at flip throughs in 2017, and at least not yet. And this one is very relevant to my practice. It has the imagery. It has every single card in this deck. See, this is when you hit something that it's almost like it was made for me. Now, I've read the books, and I had the deck for years before I actually read the books. I don't feel like you need to read the books. If it resonates, it resonates. All the imagery in this deck is of my magical and spiritual practice is represented. So is that even a sentence? My magical and spiritual practice is represented in every image, all 78 cards. So for me, this is extremely relevant to my folk witchery and my my spiritual practice, or whatever it is that I do, connecting with spirit. This is excellent for checking on magical work. Excellent for these two are my favorite for communicating with spirits. This is really good for spirit communication. Any tarot, but you know, like the more traditional, the more the what you want, you know, spirits, especially. Okay, people, let's talk. I'm gonna just take a little side note. My spirits, they were old. They're all dead now, right? Okay, so my ancestors, or even like, you know, my parents, they're old. They were like, they'd be 100 years old now. Okay, my aunt would be 100 years old. She'd be 101 this year. My aunt who raised me. So you can imagine when you're dealing with spirits, you want to be able to use cards that have simple imagery and straightforward imagery. That's why those Lenormand decks, they look, you know, they work really well for that. I just find that Lenormand cards were designed, and my channel, I can say what my opinions are. Lenormand cards were designed to scare people. You know, the person who uses those cards would be a gypsy or what a horrible word, gypsy, right? Okay. I meant it like in quotation marks. All right. Would be a, but that's would be the derogatory term towards someone who read cards, especially with, in that context. And, they weren't even meaning Roma people, you know what I mean? They just meant like, they just glumped. That's an English word. Did you know? They clumped everybody together in that, that moniker and whatever, but you know what I'm saying. Oh my God, the language police are going to come get me. It's bad enough I grew up in Quebec, people, where I kept getting, the language police kept coming after me when I was a brand new nurse because I would speak something other than French to my patients so they could understand me. I'm multilingual, and you would think that that would be an asset as a young nurse. And instead, I just kept getting written up by the language police at the hospital I worked at because it was a francophone, a French-speaking hospital. That's a tangent, right? All right. So, and now I'm going to quickly go through some other decks that are very, very in the context of my practice. These are medicine cards, animals. Oh my God, these are blank. Okay, sorry. So, my relationship with animal spirits began... oh my God, I don't even know when. Probably before I had relationships with people. But anyway, like in real, like people. And this is a go-to for me. It has been forever. I probably don't use the cards as much as I used the book. And now it's because I use the book so much and some other resources, I'm just able... It's oh my God, this is very private. Okay, so I'm just going to give a brief example. I go out for a walk in nature and I can read the signs in nature just the same way that my grandmother did, and her mother before her, and my dad, and all those wacky people from the past. I just wanted to share that this is a newer one and I had to trim it. Those of you, because my hands, the edges were really, I just trimmed the white edges off because they were really, really sharp. They were like raised and they were thinner and kind of like sharp. So I had to trim it and then I just edged it in yellow. Just wanted to share that in case you have these and they hurt your hands, because they really do, people. And it's so much better now for me. But these have the animals that my first one doesn't have. Okay, and now last but not least is this pile. Again, my practice is informed by... Now, here's the thing. I'm going to say I am making right now, the effort is to get out in nature. And I find a lot of times in the last 3 years, because I was basically... work home, like everyone experienced what happened in the last 3 years with the pandemic, and being cooped up at home and locked down and all that stuff. So I got to tell you, I love my nature cards, but I'd rather get outside. I get it sounds ridiculous to say, but yeah, we go outside. You get so much more outside than you do from cards. But I still love these. These are called Nature's Wisdom Message Cards by Scott Alexander King. Please don't start asking me in the comment section which deck was which or whatever, because it's not that kind of video. I'm just sharing these. I love these. I think I use these daily, and these are like, and I love my nature decks. My favorite ones are the ones... Well, you'll see, my favorite ones are the ones that are photographs of nature. And on the back, there's these little, and these are very divinatory. These are I like these. These are old school. There's your aura is in need of maintenance. Your defenses are down. Cleanse carefully. Protection is required. Interference on several levels. You know what I mean? And then I basically just read all 3 messages, and it's fantastic. I love these. I use these a lot. Well, daily. I use these daily. Okay. This is Ted Andrews decks. I use these too. Not daily. Like I use these daily because you know what? They're small. They're portable. They don't take up any room. These aren't that big either. But see, as you're seeing a theme here. This is very relevant. This is more relevant to my spiritual practice than, let's say, the Saint and the Holy cards. That's like specifically when I'm going home and having to, like, you know, do that kind of stuff. Somebody who loves me, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, sent me this. So now I got, so I had gifted my Animal Wise to my friend, and someone who loves me gifted me their Animal Wise. And this is, again, yeah, you've seen this before. There's a flip through on my channel of comparing this one and the second edition. And my friend Sylvain sent me the French version that I use on my altar. This is really part of my folk magic practice, folk spirituality. Not even folk spirituality. You know what I'm saying, right? It's like I'm not I'm a folk witch. You know, just my ideal living situation would be a cabin in the woods. But anyway, right now, at least I just go to the woods for a walk, which is what I did this morning, and it felt incredible. Okay. Although it was a little freaky because I don't live in the woods, but we have a lot of wildlife in town. I live in a small city. We have a lot of wildlife, and you gotta keep your wits about you because, you know, sometimes, well, first of all, bears are waking up, and we have the occasional cougar, you know, that just shows up in the neighborhood, so you gotta be careful here. And deer, well, you know, they're everywhere. All right. This is also another Ted Andrews deck. So these are this is the Nature Speak Oracle. I don't know if these are still in print. I've seen this one recently around online. This is the bird one, which is the Feathered Omens. And again, how I use these, to be honest, is not so much. I will see something in nature. For instance, I'll be out in nature and I see, you know, and I see birds, or I see a tree gets my attention, or a plant or whatever. The only thing I didn't include here was a plant deck. I have one plant deck, but I don't know. I have one Bach Flower Remedies deck. I have a plant, one of those herbal recognition cards that AGM printed. They're not really oracle decks, but that's what I use them for. All right, I know this is all over the place, but this is basically now I got some new decks that I'm breaking in to my practice. But these are the ones that have been with me the longest, and I wanted to speak to these. I wanted to use, yeah, I know, sorry guys, it's like production values here are like not. I did get some new decks in that are that I'm breaking into my I guess practice. What I'm trying to say is I wanted to share decks that are important to me and that have been with me for a long time. But to be honest, the drive is to experience the outdoors. And even if you live in the city, hey, I grew up in the city. Go to a park. There's wildlife at the park. Even in the middle of a very busy urban center, you'll find squirrels and chipmunk and birds and bugs, and it's a beautiful world out there, man. Get outside. All right, love you lots, and wishing you all a beautiful day wherever you are in the world. All right, take care. Bye-bye.